Cancer is a scary word for a lot of us, and for Nicole and I, it's been an integral part of our story for the past year and a half. Some of you may remember a life update video we released quite a while ago when we were in Canada, where we shared about a cancer scare that Nicole had. There was about a month in 2023 where we thought Nicole had thyroid cancer, which is super treatable and she would have been fine, but that scare really reminded us about how precious life is and how fickle health can be.
Thinking you have cancer, even if it's just for a short amount of time, and then like being told you don't, the new lease on life I felt like I had, even though actually nothing had happened, was extraordinary.
Going through that experience gave us the push to keep traveling and keep trying out this YouTube thing, and it was a reminder that life is unpredictable, so when you have amazing opportunities, you shouldn't let them pass you by, even when they're a little bit scary, because you never know what's coming around the corner. And that leads us to the next cancer story and the reason we have cut our Central America road trip short. A few months ago when Nicole and I were in El Salvador, we got a call from my sister that no one wants to get. She told us that she'd been to the emergency room with some strange symptoms, and after some testing, the results showed that she likely had a cancer in her kidney. She said it was going to take a few weeks to get confirmation about whether this was cancer or not, so Nicole and I made the decision to pick up the pace of our travels in case we needed to make a quick U-turn to go back home. While waiting for more news, we headed south and saw more of El Salvador and then briefly traveled through Honduras on our way to Nicaragua, which is where you all saw us last. We were in Granada, Nicaragua when we got the news that not only did my sister have cancer for sure, but it was an extremely rare, very aggressive type of cancer called sarcoma. And with that news, we knew that our journey through Central America was over and we wanted to head north to be with family. This certainly wasn't how we thought our travels through Central America would come to an end, but that's just the thing about life. You just never know where it's headed. That last morning in Nicaragua was bittersweet. We were happy to be starting the journey to Canada because 7,000 kilometers away from my sister felt scary. But we were also trying to digest the fact that we would not be making it to Costa Rica or Panama, that our travels in this part of the world were ending before we felt ready for it to be over. But oh man, did the trip home have some surprises waiting for us.
We just found out that something hit our car this morning.
No, it hit us?
Yeah, it's this thing.
Voy a abrir la guantera.
See? I just don't know how this is still happening after traveling in Central America so long. Here we are.
We just finished at the vet and she has like a hairline fracture.
I wish Nicole and Evie were here so that we could enjoy it one last time. But this is just how it is. I just have it to myself.
Oh, just dropped Evie off. That was so hard. It's terrible. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. It's not my day.
This is what they call proper whiteout condition. I honestly don't know how smart this driving is right now. This car is not gonna make it to Canada, I swear.
Traveling 7,000 kilometers through Central America, Mexico, and the USA is a couple weeks long adventure. From our starting point in Granada, we were able to quickly drive to the Nicaragua-Honduras border for the first of many border crossings.
First border crossing done. I am not excited to visit this border crossing between Nicaragua and Honduras ever again.
No.
I am good to never see this border crossing ever again.
I'm over it.
I am so over it. But we are fourth border down of many.
Of like 5 or 6 or I don't know how many. Success.
Let's get going.
And everything was going so well that we decided to drive through Honduras and get all the way to El Salvador on this first day of driving.
I have an hour and 40 minutes to get to the El Salvador-Honduras border, babe. I think we're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I know.
It'll be dark when we get to the border.
I know. But let's just push on.
Let's just keep trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll get this done. I think the most we're going to see of Honduras is driving from El Salvador to Nicaragua and back. I really hope to see a lot more of this country. So Honduras will stay on the list of places we have to revisit. Because I don't really think this counts.
We've had a good look at this highway.
We have had a good look.
Both ways.
Seen this highway twice. And that's it. Oh no!
Tonight we have dinner at the restaurant called Honduras El Salvador border. Evie doesn't really care.
Nope.
And no reservation required.
Yum, guys.
We didn't know it yet, but this is where we made our first border crossing mistake that would cost us a lot of time in the coming days. We arrived to the El Salvador border after dark and we were able to start our paperwork, but then ended up waiting an entire hour while some of the staff took their dinner break.
Where are you going?
Come on, guys. You're going leaving? You're exploring? She's like, I'm so bored. She's like, I'm so bored. We've been at this border for forever. Just trying to get in El Salvador, guys.
When the dinner break was over, a super helpful security officer walked us to the payment counter so we could pay our fees and finish the immigration process. He mistakenly told us that we were good to go after this, and we made the mistake of not checking our paperwork one last time before leaving the border. This will come back to bite us in a little bit, but in that moment, we were pretty stoked with our progress on day one of the journey home.
I cannot believe we crossed through 2 borders today.
I know, it's been a very long day.
That is 4 border offices that we went through.
We touched 3 countries today.
Wow.
That's pretty cool, right?
Where are we?
We started this morning in Nicaragua.
We must be in a rush.
We must be in a rush.
Being back in El Salvador felt really good. My sister was waiting for more test results, but it was sounding like she may need surgery to remove her kidney pretty soon. So we were happy to be a few countries closer to her and in a place that felt really familiar to us. We'd spent a bit over a month in El Salvador and knew our way around the northern part pretty well, so we decided this would be a good spot to get some of the essential errands done before continuing the journey north. The first item on our to-do list was to get Evie a crate for flying. Because Evie has recently been in countries with a high risk of rabies, we are not able to take her overland through the USA to get to Canada. So later in this journey, Evie and Nicole are actually going to be taking a flight, and since Evie has to fly in the hold with the luggage, we had to get her a flight-approved crate.
It's the right size.
It's the right size, yeah, because or else her head up there, it won't fit.
Yeah.
The car also needed a bit of work before we drove it 7,000 kilometers. A synthetic oil change, new brake pads, wheel alignment, the works. All for the incredible price of around $300. And then when we took Evie to get her health certificate completed for the next leg of this trip, we realized our mistake when we crossed the El Salvador border. We had left Evie's original vaccine paperwork with the border agent, and without it, we risked being denied entry into the upcoming countries. There was nothing to do but drive 5 hours back to the El Salvador-Honduras border and pray that the border officer still had our original documents.
I cannot believe I'm back here again. Success, got Evie's paperwork, thank goodness. Then I never want to see that border office ever again. 3 times in a couple weeks is way too many.
I did the trip by myself while Nicole organized the next leg of the journey.
He's home! You're back!
Finally back.
Oh my gosh.
Having a couple of days in El Salvador to prepare for the weeks to come helped us process that this was the end of our Central America travels, even if it was ending in a way that we never had imagined. The drive from Santa Ana in El Salvador to the Guatemala border is only an hour.
Officially crossing border number 3.
So before we knew it, we were back in beautiful Guatemala, but this visit had a bit of a different feel to it.
Back in Guatemala again. I actually feel really glad that we're getting closer. I feel like every kilometer we go is a kilometer closer to home.
Yeah.
I can't believe we spent 5 months in this country, eh?
It was well warranted. It's a beautiful country. Driving
Yeah.
back through again, I'm like, I see why we got stuck here.
I see that too.
It's so good here. But yeah, I'm eager to get through it this time.
Trying to travel quickly through 7 countries means we broke our rule of not traveling in the dark a couple of times. Despite driving all day and eating in the car, we couldn't make it to our hotel in Guatemala until it was pitch black outside. And even then, it turns out we got mixed up and ended up at the wrong hotel.
I thought I booked us a different hotel, but then we showed up to where I thought we booked, and they didn't have a reservation. There's 2 hotels with the same name in the same area. So we got that loud thing all night. And a fan. Oops.
It's kind of wild to think that we spent 5 months exploring Guatemala during this trip, but in our haste to get back home, we only had a 1-night stay in the country before making it all the way to the Mexican border.
Leaving Guatemala already. Just here for 1 night.
Getting stamped out of Guatemala was easy. but getting through all of the immigration paperwork to get into Mexico was a serious
I
headache.
cannot believe this is probably like the last or second last border crossing that we have to do. It'll be the last one for Nicole and Evie because they're gonna be jumping on a plane. And it's probably been one of the ones that has had the most hassle. We've had to go around in circles pretty much, trying to figure out exactly where to get our permissions for the car, where to go get our stuff for paperwork done for the dog, and we've been waiting like an hour long for that. It's honestly, I was expecting that after traveling through Central America and crossing through so many borders, Nicole and I have gotten really, really good at the borders, and we can just go in, you know, pretty easy, pretty chill. But no, sometimes the borders still get the best of you and just make you go through so many hoops still and delay your time by so much. It's just, I just don't know how this is still happening after traveling in Central America so long. Here we are, still going through borders and basically figuring them out like as if it was the first time ever.
It really was a frustrating and tedious border crossing process, but I also think we might have been a little bit more prickly than usual given the stress we were under to get home.
Officially in Mexico! With the most annoying border crossing we've had in a while.
I'm just so drained right now from that. Just so much documentation and people and
Back and forth.
and
Yeah.
making you run around to who knows what. Like the lady got mad at me because I put my email wrong in like the wrong orientation. It was like supposed to be 90 degrees this way under this, but she put her little marker thing in a completely different part of the paper. So I honestly, this is a border crossing I would never want to see again. Hidalgo border crossing in Mexico.
Yeah.
Between Mexico and Guatemala.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever again.
I think we'll be avoiding this one. The amenities looked great, but then it took us 3 hours on just this side to get through here. It was not fun. Would not recommend.
Hola, buenas tardes.
¿Qué tal, caballero? Buenas tardes. Guardia Ángel Sánchez de la Guardia Nacional. Nos encontramos realizando inspecciones aleatorias para la prevención y disuasión del delito, asimismo como para el control de personas migrantes sin documentación. Le voy a pedir de favor si pueden descender del vehículo y si me pueden mostrar una identificación, por favor.
Okay, I think I caught most of that.
Ok.
Gracias.
Le voy a pedir de favor si puede descender de su vehículo para hacerle una inspección.
Okay.
Okay, we need to go out?
Yeah, I think so.
Necesito que me acompañe en todo momento para supervisar la inspección.
Yo tenemos una pero.
Ok. Le voy a pedir de favor si me abre el maletero. Sí.
¿Es del otro lado en Guatemala? ¿O es
Despacio.
es de Estados Unidos?
Voy a abrir la guantera.
Sí.
Ok. Sería todo de mi parte. Bienvenidos y que tengan buen viaje, caballero. Muchas gracias.
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 Yeah.
Muchas gracias. Que tengan buen viaje. Hasta luego.
All right. Check.
Yeah.
That was legit. What do you think, my girl? Does someone come in the car? Unfazed. Proud of her.
Yeah.
She's come a long way. Wow.
That was so legit.
Yeah, that was absolutely, in like the year and a bit we've been down in this part of the world, that was for sure the most legit like car search we've had.
He looked into like everything. Well, he just went into like every detail. He would open up this, like open up a bag and then open up the case inside the bag and then keep going.
Yeah, like make sure you kind of got to the end of each layer of like something where something could be hidden.
It was a definition of like a very random search though. You just searched very randomly through different things.
Yeah.
But deeply.
That was great though. They were really nice. He was so friendly. They were lovely, smiley.
He was very, very professional.
Yeah, that was actually lovely. As far as like side of the road police searches go, that was done.
The random search of the car went well, and our first dinner back in Mexico was exactly what we wanted.
I've really missed Mexican food. This is not really the situation that I wish to have had so that we will get Mexican food again, but you know, make the best of it. And
Sí,
por favor. But yeah, very happy to get some Mexican food again.
But the next morning, something happened that we'd been praying wouldn't happen for this entire journey. And of course, it would happen as we try to rush back home to Canada.
We just found out that something hit our car this morning.
No, it hit us?
Yeah, it's this thing. Look how close it is.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We're like 3 days away. Oh,
Like, yeah, I know. I don't know. I think maybe this guy parked and something hit him, and then he hit into our car.
You gotta be kidding me.
I know. Like, though it looks like this car, their truck got the worst end of it because our tire looks okay. It's the bumper looks like it's crumpled, but like their headlamp is like broken.
Oh no.
Our license plate's still good.
Crap.
Honestly, for considering what just happened, this is not going to stop us from getting home.
No.
I'm really glad that there's nothing wrong with like the tire or the lights even. I was thinking about that. I don't know, when I was sleeping last night, I was thinking like parking on the street, maybe someone smashed our lights.
I don't know if you can open that door though, hon.
And
Look.
that would stop it.
I don't know if you can open the door.
You're right.
That might be a very big problem.
But what I'm saying is like, this is not going to stop us from driving home.
It's not mechanical.
We'll figure this out to get the door open, but frick, this has to happen right now.
Someone I think hit the guy behind us. Like, this is buckled in, and I see a little bit of glass down here. But actually, I think the most telling is from inside his car. His back windshield has been shattered.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah. So I bet that was today, because that obviously that damage could have been from any time, but I doubt they were gonna leave glass all over their seat. Oh, you know, like truck. But there's glass all in his seat.
Yeah, it really sucks. But can you imagine if we were the ones that were hit? Our car would not have made it.
No.
Our entire back, our entire trunk would have been in such bad condition. So in some ways, we got lucky because this car was here and got hit first and then us.
Yeah.
We could still drive away, but this guy, I don't think he can.
I know. I feel really bad for this guy.
I feel bad for him, but at the same time...
It's a work truck. Like, his business is right here. This is this truck.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, man. We both got messed over last night by some jerk who drove away.
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Shoot. All the paint is falling.
Looks better, right?
I think it does. Like, it looks like it's up less. Okay, well, we're just gonna walk away from this and accept the happiness that the car is not ruined mechanically. We tried to deal with like an insurance and adjuster, but because the guy who hit us and the guy behind us is like in the wind and the police had to find him, this is gonna be a big long thing to fix, and we don't got that kind of time.
Yeah, they're saying that we need to go get, like, there needs to be like a police report done, and then there'll be like a court proceeding, and it's not something we have time for, so we're just gonna get going.
Take the L, get on the road.
If you'd been in a car accident at any other point in time during this road trip, we would have had time to stay put for a few days and deal with it. But at this point, we had confirmation that my sister would be heading into surgery in the next few days, and dealing with this car accident just wasn't a priority. So we got back on the road and tried to enjoy the sights of Mexico before arriving at our home for the night.
Today's destination brought us to the coast, and we were on the Gulf of Mexico, and we're like, oh, this will be great. Like, if we get in early enough, we'll just try really hard to get Evie out to the beach because she's been like cramped in the car for days, right? So we were so excited that we got here in the daylight, and we have like maybe an hour here of daylight left. But man, this is just not the beach destination that I thought it was. Like, I think the Gulf of Mexico, and it's just gonna be beautiful, like Caribbean. That is not what's here. I don't think Evie's gonna care, but this is not what I expected. What do you think?
Not the nicest beach we've seen, but it'll probably do for a little beach visit for the dog.
She just needs a stick throw, right?
Just needs a stick throw.
Yeah, I think it'll work. There's a lot of trash to avoid though. Okay, let's do this. Honestly, this whole town is like so strange. All along the harbor here, not harbor, what is this? Malecon here? The buildings, like, they look like they've been abandoned and they're in terrible shape. It almost seems like maybe they were hit with like a bad-ish, like a tsunami or something from the water. Cause this place just looks like decrepit and it's weird. I feel like we should be in like the zombie apocalypse movie. Weird. We really need these like happy moments right now. Right, Evie is just so happy. It makes us happy. Feels good.
Yeah. Need a win right now. I think it's a good one.
This beach is kind of weird.
Day 9, we packed up the car in better spirits. There were no borders to cross, and we didn't wake up to a car accident, so the day was off to a really good start.
Well, this is goodbye to middle of nowhere Mexico.
This strange apocalyptic town.
Onwards we go.
Onwards.
Hiya!
Our good moods and positive start to the day also had something to do with all of you.
Last night, Nicole and I made a post on social media, like on our Instagram and YouTube, about what is happening with our trip and my sister back home. And we just put a call out there to all the people who follow us and know about us to share any of their cancer stories with us so that we can pass that along to my sister and to my family for some, for some positivity and encouragement on this fight for cancer or fight against cancer.
Yeah.
And we actually have had a lot of responses, and it's not even been 24 hours. We've barely had a chance to read them because we've just been on the road.
No, I haven't had a chance to read them at all. I've been driving all day. So I asked Mico if he could like read some to me.
Yeah, some of them are so good.
Yeah.
We got one person, Tammy here. She says, "I'm so sorry to hear about your sister. My husband was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer, and hearing stage 4 cancer makes your heart stop, but he's doing great. The number one piece of advice is positive thoughts. Her mind will play a big part in her healing. And the second is to run, don't walk. Order the book Radical Remission. It will change her life."
Radical Remission?
Yeah. She says, please, keep us updated on the progress, which is so cool. Like, we got one here that says, it's from Amber actually. She says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sad to hear this. I'm keeping you and your family in my thoughts. From one cancer survivor, you've got this. Stay positive, focus on laughter and family. Spend all your energy in the things that bring you happiness and joy." So like stuff like that's so nice to hear.
Yeah.
This person, Lucia, says, "My sister had a very aggressive cancer with a tumor near her mesenteric vein, others near the colorectal duct, and other parts of her intestine. She had major surgery, radiotherapy, chemo, and combining with alternative therapies. All this added to her tremendous faith, positive attitude, and love of her life. Doctors gave her 4 to 5 months to live. She survived 22 years. I've been following your videos for months and love every one of them. Love and prayers from Guatemala. So nice.
You're gonna make me cry. You guys make me cry.
This person, Amanda, she said, I'm so sorry to hear about your sister. My mom was diagnosed with a sarcoma back in 2015. She now has fully recovered from it and is stronger for it. There are lots of learnings from it as well. One thing was to be open to talking about, to be open to talking about it and not feeling ashamed with the diagnosis. She did a lot of research, switched up her diet, and she read a few different books, one of which is called Anti-Cancer. And it opened my mind to how much, to so much about health and positive mindsets.
Yeah.
And her message actually ends off with saying that cancer is terrifying, but it makes it easier when we talk about it and stay positive.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Well, now I'm gonna cry, so that's probably enough.
Yeah, that's it.
I need to take a break.
There's lots more.
Yeah? I'll read them when we get in later. Oh, if you send a comment or a message or just like hey guys, hope you're doing well, check in, whatever, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Really, really appreciate it. To Puebla, Mexico, which is, if you know your Mexican geography at all, really close to Mexico City. So we are in like central Mexico. We have made excellent progress, which feels so good. Every kilometer closer to home feels really good right now. Puebla, I wish we had more time here. We've heard a lot about this city and it would have been cool to like come and do the touristy things and make a video and all that stuff, but we don't have that kind of luxury right now. But I'm glad we at least got to pop in, and so far all we've seen is the little park so that Evie could sniff around and hang out, but at least we made it.
Another day, another hotel, another many hours of driving.
Yeah.
Mexico is huge, so we spent the next 2 days doing nothing but driving.
Mexico, you have too many toll roads. This is like our, I don't know, 8th one today.
So many.
So many. I think we've already paid like over 80 Canadian dollars in tolls today. And we're coming up to another one. We just spent like 17 bucks at another one like 20 minutes ago. I mean, the highways are amazing. Don't get me wrong, they're amazing. But sheesh, it's expensive.
"11 days after leaving Nicaragua, we finally made it to Puerto Vallarta on Mexico's Pacific coast, which is the end of the road trip for Nicole and Evie because in a couple of days they'll be getting on a flight from here to our home in Canada."
I have super mixed feelings about being back in Puerto Vallarta because on one hand I'm really happy because it means that like I'm ready to catch the flight home, you're ready for the rest of the drive home. Like we made it super far driving, which means you're closer to Mico's sister, and that feels really good. But I'm also like equally very sad because it really feels like it's the last place on like our Mexico and Central American adventures, like season 4 of our travels.
Yeah.
This is like the end of it, at least for me. I know you have like a 6-day drive still, but
I agree. This kind of feels like it's
Yeah.
marking the end, and
yeah.
it's not exactly the end that we were looking for, but it's like, you know, this part of the
happens.
journey is like something I think I'm really like you know, happy that we could actually do. Like, you know, we weren't stuck in a place that we couldn't go home, or we weren't, you know, trapped somewhere where Evie can't get back to Canada. There's a way home,
Yeah.
and there's a path home,
Yeah.
and it just so happens to be like also the same path that ends our adventure. So Yeah, mixed feelings for sure.
Mixed feelings, yeah, because in some ways, like, our Central American adventures felt like unfinished because we obviously, like, we just kind of turned around like on a dime and we were suddenly coming back here. So there's a bit of loss there for sure. But obviously, because we're going home at a time where, like, we both really want to be home with family, it feels good. But I don't know, I got super mixed feelings today. Like, we're at the water again. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's Mexico. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, that tug of home is so strong right now. Evie's joy is absolutely contagious. I think if like one thing is getting us through like the pain and sadness that we are also experiencing on this journey, it is the dog. Like, she is just so happy, you know? She doesn't know that things are changing and that someone that we love is sick, and it feels good. She's a breath of fresh air when we need it.
There's a saying that bad things come in threes, right? So on this journey so far, we've had the paperwork mishap at the El Salvador border, the car accident on our first morning in Mexico, and on the last day together before we continue our journey home separately, thing number 3 happened.
With our one day in Puerto Vallarta, we've done a bunch of errands. And one of the errands that we chose to do was actually to go and get Evie looked at by a vet for a potential issue with, we thought was maybe her paw. Every once in a while, she'll like hold her leg up and not really walk on her right front paw. And we haven't thought much about it, but we thought, you know what? X-rays here in Mexico are really affordable. Why don't we go and just have one done just in case it's anything? And we just finished at the vet and she has like a hairline fracture. We think it's from a spill she took a couple weeks ago when she was chasing the ball. So honestly, it's making me feel really good about going home right now because the vet said what she really needs is rest. Like a whole month of basically no playing, no walking. And that would be very hard to do down here because she is so eager to play. But yeah, at home in Canada, it's gonna be a lot easier, so. I suppose that's the silver lining to going home right now.
And just like that, it was time for us to go our separate ways. Nicole and Evie's flight wasn't for another 2 days, so they were staying in Puerto Vallarta while I continued the drive home, which was still 4,300 kilometers away. Saying goodbye to each other in Mexico to individually finish this journey home wasn't the ending to our road trip adventures that we'd hoped for, so saying goodbye was tough.
I remember this, thinking that this is gonna be the hardest part of the trip. Leaving you two.
Yeah.
To take a flight by yourself. Take your very first flight. This is gonna be your very first flight, my girl. Love you.
I love you so much. Be careful.
I will.
Bye, honey.
See you in a little bit.
See you in a little bit. Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you.
And just like that, there were 2. Yeah, it's so sad. I know. But I want to say bye to your dad.
After being together almost 24/7 for the past 4 years, driving on my own was a bit of an adjustment.
I'm officially on the road on my own. I can't believe I'm driving without Nicole and Evie. It feels really, really weird. I don't know if it's the silence or the fact that I have a lot less pee breaks now, but it's strange to be by myself for sure. I feel kind of sad because I feel like we're getting really close to the end of our travels here in like Mexico and across Central America. And maybe in some way it's already kind of started with the fact that Nicole and I have kind of parted ways. So I don't really know if I've kind of processed the fact that, you know, season 4 of Nicole and Mico is coming to a close in a kind of a weird and abrupt way. But I am really looking forward to being home and seeing family again, and it's been a long time for me. I haven't been home in over a year, maybe like a year and a half now. So it'll be nice to do that, to go home, but it is definitely a weird situation. I kind of wish there was a bit more of a a last hurrah because I feel like it's a little anticlimactic, but maybe the volcano expedition was our kind of last hurrah. And, you know, narrowly escaping that, maybe it's a good thing that we're going home. But I definitely feel strange to be in this car by myself. And I hope the drive home goes smoothly. I probably have 5 or 6 days of driving. And my plan is to just drive for about 8 hours a day just before and stop just before sundown. And then whatever closest city I'm at, I'll just take a look at what accommodations I can find.
While Nicole hung out in Puerto Vallarta waiting for her flight, I slowly made my way closer to the Mexico-US border, following the same route north that we had taken south when we first started this adventure.
I really can't believe it, but I made it back to the first beach we visited when we arrived in Mexico. It's just a little bit away from the town of Guaymas? Guaymas? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. It's cool to see this beach again. I wish Nicole and Evie were here so that we could enjoy it one last time. But this is just how it is. I just have it to myself. It is as beautiful as we left it. Really last minute, I found a place. I actually just walked the beach a little bit and found this little inn called Leo's Inn. They gave me a bit of a break on the room price because I was just by myself, and yeah, this is probably not a place we would normally stay at because they don't allow dogs, but just because it's just me, I was able to get in here, and I'm pretty pumped because although Nicole and Evie are not here, going by myself got me a break on a room right by the water, which is really, really nice. And I got a amazing sunset happening. Probably the last sunset I'll see over the water for who knows how long. Not that long, I don't think. But for sure, the last one I'll see over the water here in Mexico. I'm just gonna enjoy it.
I really soaked in the sunset as best as I could. A lot has been going on, and being on my own was giving me a lot of time to reflect and process everything that was happening. It had been a stressful few days because as I was driving, my sister had surgery to remove one of her kidneys where the cancer had first been found. The surgery went well and they sent the tumor away for more testing, but the distance between me and home felt a lot bigger while I was waiting for updates on her surgery. The day I was scheduled to cross the border into the US was the same day Nicole and Evie took their flight home. Evie was an absolute champ at the airport, but sending her off was really tough for Nicole.
Oh, just dropped Evie off. That was so hard and terrible. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. It's not my day, but we're going home, and Evie is gonna be just fine. The flight is 45 minutes delayed, which really sucks because I don't know where Evie is this whole time, and it just makes me nervous. But I just got to watch the sun rise over the mountains from my plane seat window, so pretty nice ending to Mexico. That flight felt like 5 days. It was 5 hours, but it felt like freaking 5 days. Oh my god. I'm so eager to see Evie. It's just like the most stressful and anxious flight of my life. It honestly felt so long.
Evie was very anxious to get out of the crate once Nicole reunited with her. But as soon as she saw Nicole's family at the airport, she seemed to completely forget she'd taken her first flight that morning.
Oh, so you just realized, hey? There you go, Eve. Hi, Bob. Aw, so excited, man. I know, my girl, I missed you. But look where I brought you. Can you forgive me?
We made it! Yay! Oh my gosh, she's so happy. He loves the snow.
While all of this was going on, I was doing one final confusing and inefficient border crossing.
I have made it to just about the US and Mexico border, which is crazy after so much driving. I can't believe I'm finally here. But as you can see, I'm actually driving on a dirt road because I have to turn around. Funny enough, of all the border crossings that we've done, lots of them have been very inefficient. I gotta say, this one is like probably up there. I think it's just hilarious that this is the way that the process for leaving Mexico is going to be the little icing on the cake of this adventure Nicole and I have had of so many border crossings around Mexico and Central America. Basically, I have to kind of go back and forth between these two different buildings on the other side, on different sides of the road. And it would be easier if they went one side, but no, you have to separate them and also put a median. So you basically have to drive like half a mile down the highway so that you can U-turn in the middle of the highway to go to the place where you need to go, and then drive another half a mile down the other side so that you can U-turn again and get back to the other side of the road. So all in all, very inefficient, very typical. I am honestly not that surprised. I think it's kind of hilarious actually, but it's now something that I've come to expect.
Once I successfully did the back and forth and got stamped out of Mexico, I waited an hour and a half in the line to get into the United States, which was more than enough time to build up a little bit of anxiety about doing this crossing.
Well, I'm about to hit the border. I can't film, and I really don't want to risk it. I know sometimes Nicole and I kind of film stuff maybe we shouldn't be filming across different border crossings, but the one between Mexico and the US, I don't want to take a chance on, so I will stop recording and see you guys on the other side. Hopefully, I'll be in the US.
A few moments later.
Well, I am officially in the US. Wow, I cannot believe I am back. That border crossing was actually so easy. I don't really know why I was like kind of nervous about it. It ended up being so chill. I kind of expected that it would be way more thorough and everybody gets checked, and you know, I've seen that in some of the border crossings that we've gone through in Central America. But this was kind of like, no, just check your passport. The guy he chatted with me, asked why I was in Mexico, told him I was heading home. And a couple minutes behind the screen, he's like, all right, you're a long way from home, so drive safe. So now I'm officially in the US, and it seems so weird. I can also like speak English freely again, and I don't have to fumble over my words. Oh man, what a great feeling. I wish Nicole and Evie were here with me to experience this going back, but I am super glad that they were able to take the fast track home. They actually just arrived home in Canada not too long ago by plane from Puerto Vallarta, so they're the lucky ones who got to go quickly. But I'm still here. I'm still driving. I'm a little tired, but I am only now one border crossing away from going home.
You remember earlier in the story when I said bad things come in threes? Well, it seems like my counter was restarted to 0 when I left Nicole, because the 6 days I had left to drive through the United States had quite a few unwelcome surprises. But things did start off on a really high note in Arizona.
This is kind of funny. I've been driving for like 6 hours, and I'm almost at the Arizona-Utah border. And I was looking for a place to pee, and then so I looked off to the side of the road, and then I saw this sign that said Horseshoe Bend, and I'm like, is that the Horseshoe Bend in Arizona? And I had no idea, but apparently I'm at one of the most iconic sites in the central US. Check this out. It is so beautiful. It's really hard to take it all in because the canyon is just so in your face. When you come up to the edge, it's almost like dizzying to see just how big the canyon is and see the river below. I totally would have skipped over this if I didn't need to use the washroom, and it was just by sheer luck that I was looking at the sign on the side of the road for a place to pull over that I found Horseshoe Bend. So that is a really nice mini win for me today, because it's been a lot of driving and it's been pretty boring So I think it's kind of nice to have a little stop for myself every now and then, and this definitely qualifies as a really nice stop.
After that, I started running into some bad luck.
Well, today is starting off real strong. I just came to this Conoco gas station to get some coffee, do a little bit of a refill, and I walked around the car, and guess what I found? A nail right on the side of the tire. I'm surprised the tire's still holding pressure. I think the nail is doing a good job keeping it all plugged up, but I don't think I can run with this, and what sucks is that I don't think it could be patched either because it's right on the sidewall. I think I'm gonna have to swap to the spare, but yeah, you know, just some normal roadside or normal road trip stuff. Always gotta have a little bit of drama.
Something Mexico and Central America made sure I was very good at was changing tires. And Nicole and I left Canada with 5 full-size tires for scenarios exactly like this one. So at least I was well equipped to deal with this. And after the tire change, things were blissfully uneventful for a couple days. I drove, worked out in tiny hotel rooms, ate leftovers that had been keeping cold in our cooler, and even got to relax in a hotel pool one night. But then my progress was halted by a winter storm coming through Idaho.
The button is frozen, I can't get gas. Oh my God, I gotta get some help. Oh my God, it is so cold out there, and it is so windy. Oh man, you know, this is one of those times where I ask myself the question of how do people live here? And then I think, it makes me remember the fact that I live somewhere colder than this. Back up in Canada. Holy smokes, my hands were so cold.
It caused me to pause my drive while I waited for it to move through the area. So I spent an extra night in a hotel in Idaho hoping it would pass. But despite my efforts, day 19 of this drive turned out to be a little bit scary.
I'm off the main highway now because I decided to take a smaller highway to avoid what I've learned is there's a winter storm happening nearby. So I kind of deviated my route a bit so that I could go around it. But clearly from the weather, that's rapidly changed. It's no longer sunny and blue skies, it's now covered in cloud and it's snowing. I don't think I successfully went around it. So this is a little bit sketchier than I would like because of the fact that I don't have winter tires. The temperature has now dropped by 15 degrees. Visibility is a lot lower than it was literally half an hour ago. And the road is now getting covered a little bit with snow. And it's not sticking so far, but it is creating a much more hazardous road than I'd like to be driving on. Oh boy. And now I am losing all visibility. This is not good, and I don't know if anybody is behind me, so I'm gonna have to put on the flashers. Holy smokes. I think my map said I was 53 kilometers on this road. I don't even know if I'll make that. Wow, this is terrible weather. This is what they call proper whiteout condition. I will take the narrow streets of Central America with all its busyness and all the people and all the animals and all the just everything, all the chaos that's happening in the streets and the driving. I will take that over this every day of the week. I honestly don't know how smart this driving is right now. Oh my gosh. Found a gas station and got myself some beef and bean burritos. Nothing like the beef and bean burritos in Mexico, but you know, it's nice hot food. I'm just gonna wait a little bit see if anything changes with weather. It looks like it's already getting a little bit brighter. So hopefully when I'm done my lunch here, I can get back on the road. And this is the turnoff actually to the bigger highway. So hopefully the roads there will be a lot better, a lot more traveled, which means less chances for the snow to really settle in, because that last road was not good. I'm hoping this one will be a lot better.
And then, just when I thought my route to home was clear, I arrived to my hotel at the end of the scary driving day to the third and final bit of bad luck.
This car is not gonna make it to Canada, I swear. Another nail, I think, in the front left tire this time, and I have no spares left. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this one, but I'm just floored that this is happening again. Wow. Nail. Part of a nail anyways. Oh my god, I think I did it. I can't hear any hissing, so I assume that's correct. Well, I think this thing is holding pressure. I'm just gonna keep it pumped up, check it in the morning, and hopefully I can make the last little bit of this drive. I'll spare you the very sad looking final dinner of this road trip, and let's just skip to tomorrow. I can't believe it, but today is the last day of this road trip. I feel like it's been fast actually, and despite the distances, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good driving. I am pretty tired of the same old kind of food on the road here, so I'm pretty excited for some home-cooked meals, but I am so looking forward to getting into Canada, which is going to be very soon. I've got about 50 minutes until I hit the border, the US-Canada border, my very last border crossing on this adventure. Good morning.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. It's an Alberta plate?
Pardon me?
Alberta plate?
Yes.
A different format, is that?
It's, you know what? It's kind of my travel plate because I've been on a road trip. I have the original plate with me.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Any alcohol or tobacco with you?
No, nothing like
Firearms or weapons?
that. No.
Everything in the vehicle belongs to you?
Yes, it does.
And where are you headed to?
To Calgary. That's where I live.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go. Safe travels.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I have officially made it into Canada. Wow, I can't believe it. It's been so long. It's weird to be back. It's even weirder to be back with the car. I can't believe it. This is so good. I'm excited to be here. That was also like the easiest, nicest border crossing ever. Just exactly what I expected from the Canadians. Very nice guy. Asked me how long asked me, you know, kind of where I've been. I kind of laughed because he picked up on the license plate right away that it's a little bit different. In case you didn't know, Nicole and I got, I wouldn't say fake plates, but we got plates made to mimic our plates back home in Canada. And the reason we did that is because we wanted to make sure that our original plate didn't get stolen. So it's still the same number, but the replication of the plate is not exactly the same as the official government plate. So, oh wow, welcome to Alberta. Crazy. I can't believe I'm back. But anyways, he picked up on the plates. He said the font looks a little different. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's just a travel plate. I just made up the term travel plate, and yeah, I feel like it's all good. That lasted probably a total of 45 seconds, and I am now back in Alberta, and the temperature, the weather looks exactly like what I expected. Blue skies and freezing cold. I can't believe I'm back here. I think the first order of business though has to be to get a coffee from Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons in minus 20-degree weather just makes the most sense. This is the most Canadian thing you could do right now. I just saw the sign for Calgary, which is my hometown in Canada. I am about 100 kilometers away, or about 60 miles away. And I can't believe, I'm almost there. It's not exactly how, I wanted to close off this great Mexico and Central America road trip. But I am glad that I can be home and soon meet up with family, and also I'm glad I've had the time to think about and reflect about a lot of things over this past about the journey over this past year and a bit, and it's been really, really nice to do that. And yeah, I just want to say that I feel like I've enjoyed every minute of it, and whatever happens next, happens next. I hope that means there's lots more adventures ahead, but for now I think the focus will be on time with family and friends as well, and here in Calgary. So it's been a great road trip. I'm glad I survived. Knock on wood, 100 kilometers left. But I feel like I'm ready to close this chapter and start something else new. But it's been a slice.
He's here! You're here! Oh my gosh. What took you so long?
I took the heat away. So bad.
I don't know. You look underdressed. It's very cold.
It's very cold.
Everybody's home. Oh, yeah. We're together.
Amazing.
We made it.
me.
Mico made it. We're both in Canada.
I'm so happy.
Feels good.
So Nicole's cancer scare in 2023 is what prompted us to do this amazing road trip from Canada to Central America. And my sister's cancer journey is what prompted us to go home. And although these two experiences brought us in opposite directions, literally and figuratively, we feel like they taught us the same lesson, which is to never take life for granted. This is what we were doing by leaving for this trip after being reminded of how fickle health can be. And it's what my sister has always done. My sister has always lived intentionally and purposefully, and has not just made sure to take opportunities as they come up, but she's also created some amazing opportunities for herself. And her tenacity is a huge part of the reason that she is currently doing way better than any doctor said she would in her fight against cancer. It's been a few months since Nicole and I got home, and my sister has made an amazing recovery from her surgery before starting chemotherapy. Her cancer is aggressive, and it's the kind of cancer that can affect many parts of her body, but she is holding it off better than anyone predicted, which is exactly like her. She's always been an overachiever and a glass half full kind of person. And those two things alone will get her through this. Right now, mine and Nicole's version of not taking life for granted is being home with family. Our travels in Central America and Mexico might not have ended the way we'd planned, but sometimes the most important travel journeys don't lead us to volcanoes or beaches, they simply lead us home.